constructive rest pose, just begin by taking a sigh. And then going into some umbrella breaths where you're expanding on the inhale if you can. Through the rib cage, and then a long exhale. You can exhale out your mouth, you could sigh, or you could breathe out through pursed lips. A couple more. Good. And then as you're ready to, you could just relax your arms down at your sides and inhale as you rock your pelvis forward, creating a curve or space between your low back and the floor, and exhale as you press your low back down, and then repeat. Okay, now the next time that you press your low back down to the floor, let's continue to bring the right knee in and give it a squeeze. Good, holding that knee. Let's inhale and hold the knee, but let it come away from your chest or your belly and allow that curve to come into your low back again. Okay, and then we're just gonna keep going with that. So we'll exhale, draw the knee in close, low back presses down. Inhale, knee comes away a little bit, and see if you can rock your pelvis forward. And it's okay if you don't get it right with the breath. Notice how you're feeling in the front of that right hip area, and the hip flexor area. Okay, now next time the knee comes away, let's let go of the knee but keep the foot off the floor. Okay, and then let's try to take the knee so it stacks directly over the hip, and you can lift the ankle a little bit just so that you've got a 90-degree angle about at the knee. And inhale, take a wide inhale. And as you exhale, get all the breath out. You can use Ujjayi breathing or your natural breath, and feel your core engage. And then inhale again. So you're just holding the leg in this position. Now, as you're doing this, your back or your pelvis is in neutral if you can. So you're not pressing it down to the floor, and you're also not overarching it. You start to feel your hip flexor working a little bit to hold the leg there. Good, and then let's just put the foot back down on the floor. Let's inhale and straighten out both legs on the floor, stretch arms overhead. And then as you exhale, let's bring the left knee and catch it with your hands. And you can bend the right knee and put the right foot on the floor. Good. Now on your exhale, you can draw that thigh in close, pressing the low back down. And on the inhale, the knee is just coming a little bit away, trying to find a low back curve or a space between your low back and the floor. Repeat. And just noticing again on this side how it feels in the front hip crease there. Okay, now next time the knee comes away, let's let go with the hands and stack the knee over the hip. You could lift the ankle a little bit and inhale, wide inhale through the ribs. Long exhale, engaging the abdominals, and we're looking for somewhat of a neutral spine and pelvis position. Good. And then let's release that foot to the floor, straighten out both legs for a moment, and just shake the legs out. You know, wobble them side to side. Good. Now inhale, stretch your arms overhead. Exhale, let's bring the right knee in and catch it with your hands. This time we're going to hold that knee with the left hand, extend the right arm out to the side. Good. Inhale, bringing the knee across your body toward a twist. You can go really slowly here. Exhale back to the center and repeat. And just notice how far can you go into the twist without letting that right shoulder come off the floor? Or does it feel better to let the shoulder come off the floor and go further? Which one feels like it has a bigger benefit for your own body? And now let's stay there. So your knees across. I just rest my foot on my opposite leg. You could also use a prop beneath your knee. And let's take 3 breaths. In through the nose if you can, and exhale either out through nose or mouth long. Now relax your face, relax your jaw. And then when you're ready, coming back to the center, let's release the foot to the floor and straighten out both legs. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, left knee in. Holding knee with right hand, extend left arm. When you're ready, inhale across the body with the knee, and exhale, roll out and repeat on your own. This next time, if you want to stay there, go for it. Again, noticing what's happening with that left shoulder. Can either leave it down, or does it feel better to allow the shoulder to come off and go a little further with the knee into the twist? One more breath. Good, and then back to center. Can drop the foot and then extend the leg. Good, just notice for a moment, take a breath in and out. Inhale, taking arms overhead. And then exhale, let's bring the right knee in again. We're going to keep the left leg straight on the floor. And let's really reach through the left leg. Like strongly reach through it. Be aware of it. And now I'm going to let go of the right knee. Inhale. And as you exhale, can you engage your abdominal muscles? And take your fingertips down to your abdominal muscles. Last week we worked with this, either or the week before. Just feeling the lower abdominals. See if you can get everything engaged. And we're going to slowly move the knee further away so it's stacked right over the hip like we did before. I'm going to lift the ankle so it's lined up with the knee a little bit. And now I'm going to take both hands to the front of the knee or thigh. And we're going to have an isometric hold, which just means we're engaging, but nothing's moving. Okay, so I'm going to press both hands into the thigh and the thigh into the hands, but everything stays still. And feel the engagement in your hip flexor and your core, and we'll hold this for about 15 seconds. Okay. Good. Good, and now let's release. Just place the foot on the floor, straighten out the leg, just wiggle the leg side to side. So hopefully there you could really feel your hip flexors on the right side, specifically probably the psoas muscle engaging, right? Just noticing if you felt that, and hopefully your core was supporting you there. And now let's inhale, stretch arms overhead, and exhale, bring the left knee in and give it a squeeze. Let's activate the right leg, so really feel it. Good, and now let's inhale and exhale. Practice engaging your abdominals as you move the knee to stack right over the hip. So if you can feel your abdominals engaged with your hand as you keep breathing. And then you can lift the foot a little bit so it's lined up more or less. And taking the hands to the front of the left thigh and breathing, engaging that core. Let's do that isometric hold for about 15 seconds. Good, and then release, foot to the floor, straighten out the leg, just wiggle the legs around. Notice, could you feel it working on that side as well? Okay, now let's bend both knees, placing the feet on the floor. We're going to be taking both feet off the floor with knees stacked over hips. Some people might feel like they can only do one leg without going into back pain or something. So if that's you, feel free to do that, okay? Otherwise, you'll inhale, then exhale. Let's draw both knees into the belly. You can grab them with your hands for a moment. Inhale. And then exhale, we're going to let go with the hands. You can take your hands to your abdominal muscles, your fingertips, kind of feel them engage. You're going to move the knees away from the belly and then lift the feet a little bit. The feet are still lower than the knees. Now, when I do this, I can already feel my core working. The back of my ribs are down, but I have my low back curve. If you feel like you have to press the back down, that's fine too. But just the main thing is feeling that your core is engaged, okay? So that your abdominals are engaged. Good. Now your hands can be on the floor, or you can even hold the sides of your mat if you want to for a little grip strength here. And I'm going to inhale. And as I exhale, I'm going to straighten the right leg and float it off the floor. And then inhale, bring it back to start. And then exhale, same with the left leg. And then inhale back to start. I'm going to keep going here. Now, if I were doing this, this is the one that I was talking to you before we started the recording about doing this with a band. And the band would be around the ankles, well, one ankle, one foot. And so you'd be pressing it forward and bringing it back. So it adds more strengthening to these hip flexors. So usually when the hip flexor has a little pain or feels really tight, people just tend to do passive stretching. That doesn't really do much for it, people find. So it's good to do strengthening, and we'll do some active stretching as well. Keep breathing. I'm going to show what it looks like if you were doing this one leg, because your back is injured or sensitive. One leg would look like this. Okay, it would be a little different, but you could still practice engaging your core. Okay, and when you're ready to be done, I'm going to come back to the center, place the feet down. Let's widen the feet with the knees bent, spread arms, and windshield wiper. You could take a sigh or two. Hopefully you felt some good work happening there. Good, and now I'm going to come back to the center and work on some bridge pose again. So let's take anything big from behind your head and just move it out of the way. So today with our bridge pose, we'll do it a little different than last week. We're going to press the low back down to the floor first, okay? And then lengthen the tail forward. So we're going to tuck the tail, engage the glute muscles, press into the feet, and peel up off the floor. And then slowly lower down, and you can reverse the order so that the back, the mid back comes down, then the low back, and then the hips. And you can even rock the pelvis forward. And then again, press low back down. I'm just going to let you have your breath flow here. Lengthen tail forward, press into the feet as you lift those hips up, feeling all around the legs and the glutes working. And then lowering back down, vertebrae by vertebrae, taking as many breaths as needed. Let's do 2 more and then hold. And you can hold on the next one if you'd like, pressing into those feet, engaging your glutes. I know sometimes in yoga classes, depending on who's teaching it and, you know, what the deal is, they might tell you to relax your glutes in bridge, but I want you to engage your glutes in bridge. So really engaging those butt muscles as best as you can, feeling the fronts of the thighs working, the backs of the thighs working, really using your feet. Good. And then as you're ready, slowly lowering down. And you could do either windshield wipers or knees to chest. All right, let's either draw the knees in and rock yourself up, or you can roll to your side and press up. I'm going to come onto our hands and knees. You can pad your knees if you'd like. Again, like last time, if you need to be up on your feet because you can't put any weight on the knees at all, you could do that with the chair in front of you, the chair seat in front of you. You can try to modify this. I'm going to be in a neutral spine, okay? Um, so that just means you're not rounded. Maybe do a few cats and cows and see if you can find what might feel like neutral. I need to fix something here. Now, what I realize is if you have a very sticky mat, if you're using a yoga mat and it's very sticky, you might need to fold it up and get it out of the way. Mine is not sticky at all. It doesn't have that sticky stuff really on it, so I won't need to do that. But you would just make it so your foot could slide a bit on your carpet, and if you're using a wooden or laminate floor or something, you could also like use a sock or something to slide on, because your foot might need to slide a little bit. Okay, I'll just pretend I needed to do that. Okay, so we'll be here on hands and knees. Okay, and inhale, press the floor away. Exhale, engage your abdominals. Okay, without rounding your spine, just engage. Good. Inhale, we're going to slide the right leg back, keeping the toes on the floor and keeping the hips square. Okay. Now, exhale, we're going to slide that knee forward. So you bend the knee, keep everything neutral and square, and try to slide the knee forward without rounding the spine very much. Like my spine will round because I'm doing this, and bring it as close to your belly as you can. Try to relax your jaw and then inhale, slide it back out. So it looks like this. So this would be me doing it if I was rounding the spine. So what I'm not saying is, I'm not saying do this, okay? Knee to forehead where I'm rounding. Instead, I'm trying to keep everything relatively the same, but trying to slide that thigh as close to the belly as I can. And my foot is just sliding on the floor. So you may or may not need help with a slippery surface. If you needed to be on forearms, you could use blocks to raise up the forearms so you're not tilted too much, and do the same thing if your wrists are bothering you. Let's do a couple more. You might feel your left hip working to stabilize as well. Good. And then just rest. You can stretch yourself back to Puppy dog pose, or your arms forward, your hips up high to puppy dog, or even downward facing dog, or child's pose. Take a couple breaths. Good, and then let's do the other side. So we'll come back to our tabletop position. Press the floor away, inhale. Exhale, engage your abdominal muscles. Inhale, sliding the other leg back, keeping the toes on the floor, hips square. Exhale, you're sliding that knee forward as much as you can, as close to the belly as you can get it, and repeating several times. Good. All right. Next time, just placing that knee down again, either sitting back to child's pose, or you can stretch the arms forward to puppy or downward dog. Letting your neck relax, your jaw relax. One more breath. All right, and then bear get up, walking hands back, coming onto your feet. We're going to be standing on a folded blanket or a pillow, so you can get that set up on the way. Rising up. And then when you get to standing, just come to stand on this kind of soft surface. So it's like a soft surface to provide a little variable information to your brain. Increase your proprioception in the feet and ankles. All right. So once you get there, just feel your toes. You can squeeze that surface of the blanket or pillow with your toes. You can rock a little bit on your feet. All right, and then when you're ready, let's inhale to stretch the arms up. And exhale, take them out to the sides and down. Let's try to time this with your own breath. So you could be going at the pace of your own breath. When you finish the inhale, you're reaching the top. And when you're finishing your own exhale, your arms are coming to the bottom. One more. Okay, now we're still gonna lift the arms up. We're just gonna do something else. Okay, so we're gonna inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, if you can bend the elbows and grab either the opposite wrist, forearm, or elbow. Okay. Exhale, we're gonna turn, keeping your feet planted, turn toward one side. Inhale back to center. And exhale, turn toward the other side. Inhale back to center. Then exhale, a little lean to one side. You can let your head lean on that arm. Then inhale up. And exhale, lean to the other side. Inhale up. Good. Exhale, release the arms, bring them down. Good. Now we're going to hold behind the back. Same thing, either wrist, forearms, or elbows. Okay. Exhale there. Inhale there. And then exhale, twist to one side, keeping the feet planted. Inhale back to center. And exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, center. Good. Exhale, lean to one side. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale, lean to the other side. Inhale, center. Let's do that all again. Okay, exhale, release the arms. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend the elbows, get a hold, and twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, lean. So when you lean, inhale, center, you're not twisting. You're just simply side bending straight to the side. Inhale, center. Exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, get a hold behind. Good. I can't remember where we are on our breath, but on your next exhale, twist to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Now exhale, lean, just a side bend, not a twist, just a side bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, lean. Inhale, center. Exhale, release. We're going to do one more, but a little different. So we're going to inhale, arms up. This time when you bend the elbows, there'll be a natural way that you go for your grip. Now put the other arm in front. So just do it a funky way, okay? Good, and then find your breath, and on the exhale, let's exhale, twist to the opposite side that you've been twisting to first. Inhale, center, and then exhale, twist. Inhale, center, and then when you lean, twist to the opposite side first. Good, all right, exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, when you get your grip behind, same thing. Can you do it the way that feels a little funky? And then exhale, twist to the side that you don't normally twist to first. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Same thing with the lean. Good, and then exhale, release. Let's shake out the arms. You can step off of your variable surface here and just set it to the side for now and swing and twist, letting those arms flop around. Good. For 5 and 4 and 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's stand again in Tadasana or mountain pose. Feet can be close or they can be hips distance, and just stand tall. Good. Notice how you feel through your whole body, from the soles of your feet to the top of your head to your fingertips. Let's take 3 breaths here in Tadasana. Good. All right. Let's get our chairs and set up so that the seat is facing you toward the front of your area or your mat. Okay. Let's see. All right. So we're going to stand in front of the chairs or chair. And when you're ready, inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, let's send that pubic bone back like we worked on the hip hinge last week, right? So send that pubic bone under, take your hands to the seat of the chair. As you inhale, reach your chest forward. And as you exhale, let's do down dog with the chair. You can also choose to do it at the floor if you want. Okay, send those hips back. Knees can be bent if you'd like to try to really get some length and lift that pelvis high. See if you can relax your neck or let that head come down between your arms, or so that the ears are between the arms if you can. And 2 more breaths. And 1 more. Good. Then inhale, bend the knees, look between the legs of your chair. Exhale, step the right leg forward so the toes are underneath the chair. And now from here, I'm going to step that right foot a little more to the right and the left foot perhaps a little more to the left. I'm going to put that left heel down. So you might need to step it closer to the front, or you might need to turn the foot out more to the side. Okay, so you can get that back foot fully on the ground and you find the three corners of both feet. Now I've got my front knee bent. Okay, look at that. And I'm going to find that hip hinge here. So we worked a lot on the hip hinge last week, so you can always go back and practice that one again. But to find it here, I'm going to come in and out of rocking the pelvis, okay? So as I exhale, I'm going to tuck my tail under and round my low back. And then inhale, I'm going to tilt my tail up like I've got a big bushy squirrel tail going up toward the ceiling. Might need to bend my knee, front knee more to do that. And repeat. Okay, exhale, round, tuck the tail under. Inhale, lift it. Now, if your wrists are bothering you, it's likely that you're putting too much weight on your hands. So you could try coming to your fists, get really feather light touch on the chair, right? You're holding yourself up with your legs here, okay? Now, next time you lift the tail, let's stay there. And your knee might need to stay quite bent, or it might be able to straighten some if you can do that without changing the position of your tail, trying to get that tail up, okay, reaching the chest forward. And keep breathing, relax your neck. Feel the three corners of both feet. Parsvottanasana pose. Good. Now let's bend that knee more. Bend that knee more. Inhale, extend the spine forward. Okay, and exhale, we're going to step off that left leg, step it forward. Inhale, extend the spine forward. Exhale, sit like you're sitting in a chair. Then inhale, press down through the heels and stand up, reaching arms up. And exhale, arms out and down. And just pause for a moment. Inhale and exhale. And inhale, take arms up again. Exhale, to hinge at the hips, the pubic bone, you can even put your hand there if you want, goes under, right? So you may need to bend the knees to keep the pelvis rotating. Take the hands down. Inhale, reach chest forward. Exhale, downward dog again, stepping back. It can be on the floor or using the chair. Take 3 breaths. Good. Inhale, bend the knees. Look between the legs of the chair. Exhale, left leg steps under the chair, or the foot does. Okay. Now we're going to scoot that left foot a little more toward the left leg of the chair. Maybe the right foot over to the right. But the main thing is we're going to get that back heel down and be able to feel the 3 corners of the feet. So the pinky toe isn't coming off the floor or anything. Right? Might need to turn that back foot out quite a bit. And then get lighter on your hands. Front knee is bent. And begin, inhale, tilt tail up. Exhale, round. You're keeping the front knee bent for now. So as I said when we were folding forward toward the chair, that the pubic bone goes back when we're hip hinging, you can kind of feel that here. So when the pubic bone goes back and the fluffy tail goes toward the ceiling, right, that's more of a hip hinge. When we bring that pubic bone forward, we're flexing the spine. You've still got somewhat of a hip hinge. It's just not as deep, right? So we're not doing that same work. Now let's leave it so the tail is up, pubic bone is back. You can stay right where you are, or you might start to straighten the leg, but let's try to keep the same alignment of everything else as we do that. Let's take about 4 breaths if you can. Notice how your wrists and shoulders and neck are. Feel the three corners of your feet. Okay, and now let's bend that front knee again. Good. Inhale. Exhale, step the right leg forward. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Exhale, sit like you're sitting in a chair. And inhale, stand. You can reach your arms up if you want. Exhale, arms out to the sides and down. All right. So I'm going to take our chairs next to us for support, for balance support. So you could always use another piece of furniture or the wall. Okay. And we'll do a variation of the pose we did at the very end of our session last week. I'm going to show it from this side. Okay. So I'm going to have the chair on my left side. So my right leg is going to step back, and then I'm going to bend both knees. Okay, so I'm here in a version of crescent lunge with the back knee bent, and I'm going to tuck the tail under, making sure you're not having pain in that back knee when you do that. The front knee is bent over the ankle. Okay, so that I start to feel some tension here in the front of the hip. Okay, so I'm just feeling that. And inhale, take the right arm up, stretch it up. Can you keep that tail tucked under? As you exhale, lean toward the left a little bit. So from the front, it just looks like this. Okay, good. Good. Take another breath here. And inhale back up. And exhale, arm comes down. You can step that leg forward. So last week we were doing some warm-ups where we drove that knee forward at the same time. Those are great to do. And this was just a little bit more of an active stretching. So now right hand can come to the chair. Right leg will be forward, left leg steps back, crescent lunge. So crescent lunge is a pose where the back heel is lifted rather than warrior one where it's down, right? So the hips are able to fully square, and then we're going to add this bend of the knee, tuck of the tail to get a little bit of tension in here. Okay, so feeling that, breathing. It's like you're trying to lift the pelvic or lift the pubic bone up and forward a little bit opposite to what we're doing with the hip hinge. Okay, and then inhale, taking left arm up, keeping that tail tucked as you exhale, a little lean to the side. Inhale, staying there. Exhale. And then inhale, rise up. And exhale, step forward. Good. Just going to step side to side a little bit. Now we're going to sit in our chairs. Okay, so in this one, you guys have all done this with me before. I'm going to turn to my right. So I know that I look opposite to you guys when I do this. So turn to your right, and so that you can hold the back of your chair here for support. And then I'm going to move myself so that my left hip is free from the chair, so it's off of it. And I'm going to take that leg back. Now I know not everybody's toes can have this kind of extension, and maybe they can't extend it all because of surgery, so you may need to modify for your own body. Okay, so then get stable. So I just kind of scooted my right hip more on. Okay, and now from here, you can see, so if this, I'm framing my pelvis with my hands, and you can see that my pelvis is kind of tilted more forward, right? Nothing wrong with that. We're just going for an active stretch. So instead of that, I'm going to try to bring my pelvis straight up and down. See that? So now I've tucked the tail under really, okay? And I'm feeling, you might feel it through your quad or your hip. Okay, good. And then from here, I'm going to inhale, take that outside arm up. Good. And exhale, a little lean toward the right. And then inhale back up. And exhale, release. And we'll switch around to the other side. Left arm comes to the back of your chair. Gonna get that right hip free. The right leg's gonna go back. Now, depending on if you have knee pain when you put it under tension, you might need to modify as well. Okay. So again, I've got my pelvis kind of leaning forward here. I'm going to tuck the tail under. When I do that, my knee bends more so that it's more upright. And then now I'm feeling a stretch. Okay, breathing. Try to sit up tall through the top of your head. Big, wide inhales, long exhales. And then inhale, right arm up. Notice what that's like. And then exhale, a little lean to the left. Good, and then inhale back up. Exhale, release. Bring that leg forward. Let's turn so that you're facing, so you got the back of the chair behind you, but scoot forward so that you can try to find a neutral spine here. We're gonna widen the feet, okay? And then we're gonna hip hinge, right? So just gonna lean forward. Feeling for, is this position okay in your body, in the front of your hips? Can you do it without rounding? Are you able to keep length through your back and spine? It's okay if you have to round, it's just information for yourself, right? And then if you want to, you can go deeper into it. You could fold down toward the floor, letting your spine round, or stay upright, letting the spine round. Take 2 more breaths. And slowly inhale, coming back up to your thighs with your elbows if you're all the way down. And exhale, come upright. Let yourself acclimate to being upright. Breathe in and breathe out. And let's try just a little bit of breath work here. So if you want to sit back for more support, you could. We will still try to keep our rib cage over the pelvis, okay, even if you're scooting back. And feel your feet grounded. If you need something below your feet to feel that, go for it. Rest your arms however you'd like. And let's just try a little breathing exercise where you're simply making the exhale longer. And we've tried this so many different ways, right? We've used a humming exhale where you hum to lengthen the exhale, like the Brahmari breath. We've used Ujjayi breathing, where you're making the sound in the back of your throat, but breathing out through the nose. And we've also breathed out through pursed lips to make it longer, right? You can try any variation of those. And let's try to inhale for your own count of 4. So whatever length that is, however quickly you want to count, and exhale for 6 counts or longer if you can. All right. If counting stresses you out or makes you hold your breath or get tense, then let go of counting and just breathe. Okay. So let's do this a few times here on your own. Begin whenever you're ready. Good. And now, after you finish your exhale, just let yourself do nothing for a moment. No focus on breathing. Let your muscles relax. Let your jaw relax. And you might just notice if you got really distracted or not during your breath work, or if you were overly focused. Just kind of notice the nature of your own mind today, or the quality of it. All right, now we're going to stand up through a hovering squat and practicing this hip hinge some more, okay? So to do that, and you've all done this with me before too, those guys that are here today, but I'm going to take my feet wide, a little bit wide, and as I hinge, just practice your hinge, right? We did that when we leaned on our arms, right? A hinge. Okay, we're gonna try to keep that same alignment. So without this, as we come into our hover squat, that might mean, so for example, that might mean you might not be able to hover here. You might have to be hovering here, right? Or if you find yourself doing this when you're trying to hover, come higher up or put your hands on your thighs, okay? You might need to give yourself a boost too, okay? Here we go. Inhale, nose over toes. So that just means I'm gonna hinge, okay? And then exhale, see if you can hover and hold, but keep breathing, okay? Doesn't matter how high or low you are, just work where you are. Neck relaxed, jaw relaxed. Good, you guys. And then let's stand up. All right. So we're going to do one of the couch stretch, which is with knee on the floor on a pillow. If you know that that's not going to work for your knee, what you could do is the same one we just did. This one, remember that one? Okay, so you can do that in the chair. Otherwise, you can use your couch, or I'm going to show this using my chair. I could also use this blue chair if I wanted. I'm going to use a pillow below my knee. And I'm also going to put a blanket on my chair just because I don't want it to hurt my foot. So what I'm going to do is come down, and you might need more furniture or blocks to help you. I'm going to come down and get one knee. Let's do the right knee on the padding. And then I'm going to take the right foot up on my chair. Okay? This is where furniture might help because I'm going to rise up. Okay, so I'm coming up here. Now, you don't have to look like this. You might not be able to get upright. Okay, you might be down here and you might not be able to get up. Okay, if that's the case, you could even take your foot lower. Like we've done this with our back foot on a block instead of the chair. Okay, what I'm going to do now is tuck the tail under. So just like we did when we were seated in the chair, tuck the tail forward. Okay, we're going to breathe for about 15 seconds, feeling the stretch. For me, it's mostly in the quad here, but you can also, I'm going to just let myself come forward a little bit with my hips. Just changes it up into my hips a little bit. Good. And now I'm going to twist my chest to the right. And then noticing how that changes the stretch. Inhale back to center. Exhale. Then inhale, I'm going to take the right arm up toward the ceiling. Now this might give enough of a stretch right here, or you might lean a little bit to the left. Don't want any knee pain as you're doing this. Inhale back up and exhale, come down. Okay, so for me to come down, what I like to do is place my hands on the floor, step the left knee back into position, and step the right leg forward. Okay, you can see what works for you to get there. Okay, and then rise up. Okay, so see how my pelvis is tilted forward, right? So I'm going to attempt, you might not be able to in this position, I'm going to attempt to lift the pubic bone, draw the tail under, and breathe for about 15 seconds. Okay, and then I'm gently going to turn my chest toward the left. See how that changes things. Good, and then coming back to the center, and inhale, take the left arm up. You might stay right there. That might be enough of a stretch, just taking the arm straight up. Or you could exhale, lean to the right a little bit, keeping that tail tucked under if you can. Good, and then inhale, come back up. Exhale, lower down. You can bring that knee or come down to a seat. What I'm going to do is turn around and put my heels on the chair. I'm going to do just one quick thing. I know we don't have time. So it's just going to be one quick hamstring activating bridge pose, okay? So your blanket could stay on your chair if you don't have padding on it like me. What I'm going to do is get in this position where my knees are above my hips. I'm going to drive my heels straight down into the chair so I feel the backs of my legs working. See if you can find that. Breathing in and out. Okay, now if you got that, we're going to try to, again, press the low back down, lengthen the tail upward as you press down into the heels and peel up. Can keep breathing. You don't have to hold your breath or do it in one breath. And then slowly go back down, feeling those hamstrings working or the backs of the legs working the whole way down. Good. And then resting. So you can take your legs over the chair, scooting closer if you'd like. You can do another yoga pose if there's something else that your body wants or needs. Or you can get yourself set up for a version of Shavasana. When you do get to your resting pose, take a couple of sighs to practice letting everything go. Practice letting go of as much effort as you can in your mind, your face, your jaw, your breath, your muscles and bones. All the way down to your fingers and your toes.